Everybody.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello, welcome. I'm Bailey from Glowforge.
I'm Nick from Glowforge.
And we are recording this in the past for you. We're both on vacation right now, but we didn't want to leave you in the dark with your Glowforge FAQs and lives. We've been having a ton of fun doing these the last few months for y'all here on Facebook and YouTube and maybe Twitch. I don't know where you might be joining us from, but
yeah, doesn't matter to us so long as you join us.
Yeah,
and it seems like you enjoyed them too. So
yeah,
keep the feedback coming in. Let us know what you love, what you don't love.
So even though this isn't really live today, we have live experts in chat. One of those is me personally. I'm a Glowforge expert, and me in the future is there in chat. So if you got questions that we are not answering during this presentation for you, throw them in chat and we'll make sure that we answer them there, or maybe we'll even do a whole video about them. We're really looking for suggestions of like what y'all want to see about Glowforge. But what we're doing today is one of our topmost things, asked questions is like, can I start a business with Glowforge? And you might have noticed a lot of folks have.
Yes,
if you've been,
yeah. Welcome to our presentation.
If you've been on #Glowforge on Instagram, brag moment. I started #Glowforge on Instagram about 5 years ago. I've been at Glowforge for a long time, and right after we launched, I started it. And at the time, it was just our own. Nobody had a Glowforge, so it was just our own Instagram. I think there are over 150,000. We might be getting up towards 200,000 #Glowforge on Instagram now. Like, wow. So that's, as a #founder, I have to say I'm very proud. And,
that's pretty big.
But Instagram is a great place to look at what other folks are doing for businesses. So we thought today, though, that we would give you the top 10 things that you need to know about making money with Glowforge. Because there's some tips that might not be obvious. And we've talked to so many people. And Nick himself has been a small business owner where he made goods and sold them. Not with a Glowforge. He didn't have one at the time.
It was my introduction to Glowforge.
And then we stole him away from his small business to work for us.
True. My fans were devastated.
But a question that a lot of folks ask, and where I want to start out with at number 10, the number 10 thing that you need to know is that it takes an average of 3 to 6 months to pay off your Glowforge. Because folks say, well, once I get it, like, I'm going to start paying it off right away. How long is that going to take? Of course, that's going to be so dependent on the particulars of your business. If you're selling $500 custom art installations, which you definitely could, maybe it'll take you only 5 or 6 sales to pay it off, But if you're selling engraved silicone watch bands for $5 a pop, it could take you a little bit longer. And it also depends if you're able to do it, if you're doing it as a side hustle, or if you're able to dive right in full time. So it's a little tricky question to answer, but we've heard lots of folks do in fact do it, and it's not like a years-long endeavor for the most part.
Sooner than you think is probably the good way to sum that up. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. It's very impressive. And that leads us on to number 9, one of the ways that you can start to make money with Glowforge. That people, well, some of this is probably obvious and some of it's maybe not. And we're going to use this as an opportunity to start a print for you and sort of demonstrate this. But if you are not necessarily a designer, what you can still do is offer customized found objects and sell those at a premium. And I think, was it like a 20% markup was a figure we found published by somebody, one of the famous online companies?
I think I've heard, I don't know exactly who that was from, but I've definitely heard that, if you can buy, for example, in bulk, a whole bunch of cutting boards, at...
This is like a little valet tray, but this type of thing.
A valet tray, exactly. So you might throw your keys and wallet on it when you walk in the door. But, say that you bought these in bulk for $10 each. I mean, I think that you can, I don't know, maybe I have expensive taste, but I think that you can charge really a premium for custom-made orders. Especially when folks get to design it themselves. So I got married a couple years ago, and the wedding industry is all custom made. I mean, who would have a generic wedding sign at their wedding, right? When there's thousands of people out there ready to make, the place settings at your tables with everyone's exact names, your date, like everything. And I think like when I ordered custom stuff, like typing in my details, it just feels premium. Like I know that someone's taking the time to make this for me and I'm going to pay for that, you know?
100%, yeah. And because this is, actually, maybe I'm skipping ahead. I'm just checking our top 10 here.
Yes.
Speed. Is that in here, Bailey?
Nope.
No, it's not. So because, I've lost my train of thought. I was basically trying to say it's really quick. This is what it is. So if a customer contacts you with a custom order, they don't have to wait weeks or months, assuming you're not like slammed with orders, which you probably will be, for you to produce your product. Yeah, absolutely. Something like this, you could knock this up in what, a matter of 7-8 minutes, something like this?
If you're really crafty too, what I've seen folks do is they have, a basic design. So maybe this box, and maybe this has somebody's date on it, but imagine this said, welcome to the wedding of, or something. So you could pre-print all of that and then just customize the middle bit with the orders as they come in. And that way it could speed up your time from order to shipping out, which we also know from business owners that customers want things fast.
I know, I do, yeah.
We've been very trained and spoiled with prime shipping and whatnot. And prime shipping is not a thing when folks are hand making items for you. Like Glowforge is a great coworker and it does a lot of the work, but you are still involved.
It's true. Yeah, there is still time that's taken.
Yeah, well, let's see this print though, Nick.
Yeah, let's do it. So we have a tip to share with a few of you out there who might not be familiar, but when we're printing on something like this, which is a little bit thicker than a typical sheet of material, the crumb tray which sits inside the printer, we can remove to accommodate this. I'm going to show you how that works. So I'm going to run around the front. We call it a crumb tray because it's kind of like the bottom of your toaster, that crumbs would fall into. Exactly.
Yeah, and so it's just this stainless steel tray. It pulls right out.
This catches all the little pieces of stuff, and you can shake it off into the trash, like Bailey mentioned, but pops right out like that. And what we can do is take our object and place it in the bottom. Now, this tray here is just a little bit thinner, so I'm going to put a few bits of material in here first, just to prop it up so it's about the same height as the crumb tray.
What he's trying to do is hit this sweet spot between underneath 2 inches, because that's the maximum height of something that you can put in your Glowforge. So if you're thinking of items that you might customize, think like an aluminum flask or a champagne flute, but not maybe a wine glass or a wine bottle. Those are going to be a little bit too tall to fit inside.
Absolutely. And you'll realize very quickly in the software whether this is going to work or not. It's easy just to add in another sheet of material or take one away if you're a little bit too high or too tall. And I'll show you how that works. Now, what we're looking at right here is a logo that we developed for a fake business. Some of you may have heard about this before, but it's great for these demos. And we can see on the screen a photograph of that tray that we just put inside the Glowforge. And what I'm going to do first is use a tool in here called Set Focus. And what this does is ask the Glowforge to come across and measure the height of the tray that we are going to be printing on to tell us whether it's the right height or not for great printing, and to autofocus the lenses that are inside the printer head.
So you saw it just popped over, shot down a little red light, and popped back. And it does this all automatically. This is one of those like smart laser robot laser things that the lasers in the 1980s and 90s, they can do this engrave on this cutting board, certainly. But to dial in those settings is a whole manual ordeal. So this really makes it very simple.
Absolutely. And another nice feature about seeing the object in there is I can take this logo and I can place it exactly where I want.
Yes, this is so cool.
Now, it's super rad. Now I can see if I line it up here that we're not quite aligned. So I'm going to use this tool here just to rotate it just a touch until it looks about right. I can scale this too if I wanted to. I can make copies and pastes. I can copy and paste, and I can just place it wherever I like. And I'm going to go for the center like this. And this tray obviously is not a piece of proof grade material, so we don't have settings that we know are going to work for this. But what I can do is head up to our materials menu, choose something that's somewhat similar, and I can start from there to figure out what settings we need. And just to give a very brief overview of settings here, we can click into the print step, which represents the engrave. We have a few different options, but if we go one step further, we can see the speed and the power level here if we wanted to adjust those. Let's say we do a test and it doesn't go quite deep enough, we can crank the power or lower the speed. But that essentially is it. And once that's done, we're going to hit print. Glowforge is going to do a little bit of processing, send that design up to our servers, figure out how long everything's going to take, and then send all that information back down to Glowforge. And we have one button on the machine, which I'm going to do the honors today.
Glowing.
And press that, and we'll kick that print off.
There it goes.
And just for reference, this print is going to be about 10 minutes.
Yeah, so it gets started right there. It's so fun to watch. We'll give you a look once the image is appearing in a moment, but you can see this is how fast it prints in real time. That's not sped up at all, and you can already see let's see if I can tilt it in. You can already see the bottom of those letters appearing.
Oh yeah. We'll cut to that again in a sec when there's a bit more so you can see. And it looks like we're obviously doing a terrible job of the top 10 things because I 100% skipped over number 8, which was live preview.
That's what we just showed you.
That's what we just demonstrated. So that's number 8.
But the reason that I wanted to make live preview a thing that you need to know for making money with Glowforge is what Nick was just showing you about placing the design or logo or what have you exactly on where you want it on a blank. Here's like a blank, cute little leather wristlet sort of thing. I mean, imagine this as like bridesmaids gifts. I'm stuck on the wedding thing today, but there's a lot of opportunity with events. People spend a lot of money on weddings, as we all know. So, but also it just allows you to be super, super efficient with your material. So suppose that you are going the other route where you're actually making something on your Glowforge to sell, like Akika, who is one of our customers. This is a beautiful Etsy shop to check out. She's actually from like Norway, so she has this gorgeous like simplistic Northern European style, and then she's moved to Louisiana, and that's where she raises her family. So she does this gorgeous like Cajun Nordic brand. Oh my gosh, you got to check it out. And her stuff is gorgeous and high end. And this is a purse that she made. So this is, I believe, made on proof grade. I guess I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like it. It's some beautiful wood either way. But this is made with a living hinge. So this is a piece of hard wood that through the cuts here has been made flexible. So maybe you're actually making your whole product on the Glowforge, like Akika has here.
And you can see this was a solid sheet of plywood, but
and look
Bailey,
how it bends.
Yeah, look, it's bending just like it was a fabric. It's a pretty cool technique. If you want to blow someone's mind, show them a living hinge.
This is gorgeous, and I mean, you can check out her shop. She really can charge a premium for these. It's a gorgeous brand. I mean, this feels high end. I would bring this to a party or like, you know, wear this with heels and that sort of thing. It's beautiful. So if you are using Glowforge materials, or sorry, you're making something from scratch with the Glowforge rather than just engraving on a found object, a blank object, that live preview is going to be maybe even more important to you because you need to be efficient with your materials. You know, when you're running a business, that margin, you can't say, oh, I printed one purse on that sheet, and sure, there would have been room for like another half of one, but you know, but with a live preview, you're able to print wherever you want on that material, so you can be super efficient, use every little last scrap. If you end up with a bunch of like small ones, maybe you add an earring line to your business, you know?
It's a great idea.
You gotta have some.
I have a big tub of circles of different sizes at home that I'm keeping for something. I haven't figured out what yet, but they're there and I will use them one day.
Maybe like game pieces eventually, like so many things that little things could do. So number 7 I wanted to get to was you can stop outsourcing. So for lots of businesses, folks already are, you know, buying custom branding, they're buying business cards, they are, I took a class, a weaving class that this woman had started up, this small business of weaving, and she gave us these little plywood looms, and they were clearly laser cut, and they were engraved with her logo, and I asked her where she was getting them and how much she was paying, and I was like, you know, you got to get a Glowforge, girl. You got to make it because. But I understand because people that have had access to lasers that have been selling folks these basic items that they need for their businesses. If you can bring that in house, just do a little math and think what that might save you. I think that's a big reason why some folks get the Glowforge.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, I mean, this could work away while you're thinking about your next product line, communicating with your customers, that kind of thing.
Yep.
You know, it's like having an employee in your store.
Exactly.
Really. Yeah.
And never takes vacation.
Yeah.
Unlike Nick and I. I wanted to mention, just because we're getting down in the list, we do have a discount code if you're thinking about getting a Glowforge this month. If you use the URL glowforge.com/top10JulyBiz, let me spell that out for you. Glowforge.com/top, TOP1010 JulyBiz, BIZ, top 10 JulyBiz. I'll put it in chat right now too so you can see that. But that'll get you $500 off of a Glowforge Pro, which is the one we're using today, or $250 off of a Plus. So I'll say this again in later on, but that's the best price that we offer. So if you are gonna kind of start up a business this summer, or maybe you're like, wait a minute, I could bring something in house that I'm paying way too much for someone else to make for me. Maybe now's the time.
On to number 6 then, I think.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Let's keep going. So number 6, this is all about design. Now, I know for some of you out there, you may already be very well versed in the world of design. You may know various graphic programs. You might be able to draw with your pen or pencil or iPad on Procreate and create really wonderful things. If you do, awesome. You can send that stuff to Glowforge. Save it as an SVG, a PDF, send it to Glowforge, and you can apply it to your work.
Right.
But if you're not that type of person, you're still interested in making things to sell, There are so many resources out there where you can download digital designs that are ready to print. One good example is the catalog, the Glowforge catalog. This is an ever-expanding repository of designs. They're designed by people just like yourselves at home.
Right.
And they're available
Who have
to download and print.
Glowforges.
Absolutely. We have instructions on how they all go together, guaranteed to print just fine. And there's more and more being added all of the time. Etsy, another great example. Search for Glowforge SVG. You'll find just hundreds on there. And they are just a few dollars each,
I just looked at this yesterday. I guess I hadn't looked in a while. I mean, there were thousands of results. I was like, oh, a mermaid room sign for my niece. You know, like I got all these gift ideas. There was the coolest stuff, and people have the best style, and wow, my mind was blown. We actually have a customer, Daryl, who, if you're on our Facebook page and you scroll down couple months, probably, I think we did this in May. I did this interview with him, and he actually paid off his Glowforge in like 2 weeks or something incredibly fast, but his business, because he's a designer, is selling Glowforge designs to other Glowforge owners that they then sell. And he even takes it another step where he market tests the designs. Like there things like monogram signs and Christmas ornaments, really giftable, really customizable things is what he focuses on. And he's made an amazing business just of that. And he's enabled a bunch of other people to make money. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And if we look at our customers who are jewelry makers, I know quite a few of them offer jewelry blanks to add additional personalization. So it might be something as simple as a circle shape cut out of a piece of nice wood. And you can buy those in a pack of 10. She ships them off, and then you can add paint or resins or whatever other embellishments that you might want. Another great way of using that scrap and making some money.
I've loved those businesses that are like about making kits for other people, like the dollhouse kits and things like that. Fun. So cool.
They're really awesome. Wonderful. Well, on to number 5 then.
I think so.
So branding
Let's get some
matters.
examples out for this.
Yeah, this is a good one. Now, Glowforge, of course, as we've been chatting, can absolutely create the things that you sell, but it can also create all of the other supporting paraphernalia to create an incredible brand and business. And that can be things from packaging, it can be rubber stamps, it can be stationery, it can be signage for your store. All of that kind of stuff can all be created with Glowforge. So Bailey's gathering some stuff here.
This isn't one, but I just want to show it off anyway. Sorry, just going off topic.
No problem at all.
Here's some stamps.
So here's a few stamps, just to give an example. Now, these were all created with Glowforge using a laser-safe rubber product. As you can see here, I've taken a simple design, mirrored it, and engraved the negative, essentially. And this flips over, gets stuck on the back of here, which is just a scrap of thick plywood. And here you have a stamp. Now, this, of course, is a return letter stamp, but you could imagine
if it was a brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can make the tags, the price tags. You know, when you open a box from Etsy and they've customized the things within it, how high-end that feels?
It's so good.
So this is packaging that we made with the Glowforge. So this is just cardboard, as you can see, and it's that nice white cardboard. And then we used a couple different settings to get this like nice light engrave for kind of the giraffe print, and then this darker engrave for the Meet Jerry part. And what this is it's a little do-it-yourself cross-stitch kit. So we made this little Jerry giraffe with all his little cross-stitch holes in him on the Glowforge. So the idea is that you would sell him uncross-stitched, and then someone would buy this kit and then cross-stitch him, make him a little sweater. But you could make this whole thing yourself, and you can make, I'm imagining he needs like a whole family of zoo friends to be with. And just this feels, like getting this versus getting this like in a Ziploc.
Yes, right. You know,
it's such another level of
really
branding, you
know?
know?
Yeah, and it's honestly not a lot of extra effort either. It's really quite impressive.
Exactly.
How about the A-frame sign, Bailey? Do
Absolutely.
You have
yeah, where did that go? Right here.
Just there, yeah. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about this later on, but this is I guess a pretty large example of something you could create with Glowforge to support your business. It's the first half of an A-frame sign that might stand outside a retail space. But you can imagine this same technique being applied to signage, to your cash wrap, to anything really that might support your brand.
I've also been seeing lots of businesses make signs that have QR codes on them, especially during the pandemic, because we kind of all nixed menus and things like that, anything physical. QR code to jump onto your Instagram, to your custom order form, and it might sit on your counter if you have a booth at a market or what have you. Also making your own custom displays for brick and mortar shops, all of that kind of stuff. And again, I keep saying this, but I really, wow, when I was shopping for my wedding and I would order from the Etsy stores who took that extra step to elevate the brand. Like I then ordered from them again because they stayed top of mind for me. If you scroll back again in our Facebook a few weeks ago, we did we engraved on some wooden spoons, and I was saying, gosh, things like this that are quick and inexpensive are really good, like little giveaways for your brand too, like something that comes free, like a sticker, but something that you're able to like make on your Glowforge that then the next time that person's looking for something to buy in that same category, they think of you, you know, and they think it just really elevates all of that. So love that. And this is almost done, isn't it?
Speaking of high quality, let me whip around here so people can see and just get an idea of what's actually happening in here. Now the engrave is almost finished. You can see, if I can try and avoid that reflection, the quality that we get there and how, there we go, it's focused now.
Fab.
It's so crisp. And that's, of course, a permanent mark on the surface, so you could throw this in the dishwasher if you needed to. Now, I'm thinking about restaurants here. You know, little trays that you put your receipt on and a pen and what have you.
Absolutely.
You could knock these out yourself in-house, replace them whenever you needed to. Like, super, super cool. And it looks like that's just literally about to finish. We're going to capture this just at the very end of the print.
I love it. Oh, that looks great. And did you have to futz with those settings too much, or was that a proof grade setting?
No, I just used a proof grade setting for that one, and it looks like it works pretty well. So we can open it up. And like we said, this is cool to the touch, so we can take it out straight away.
I mean, this would be ready to pop in a box and send to a customer. Like, this doesn't even require any finishing.
Yeah, basically so. And now you can see that logo. And if I do a little... Where's the light?
I was doing some hand modeling the other day. Got to move it around a little bit.
But you know, it's really awesome. It's so much fun. Sorry, getting carried away.
Yes. Number 4. This is a tip that I heard from Daryl and also some other business owners when I've been speaking with them. Is just to keep in mind when you're thinking about what you might make with Glowforge, to focus on some combination of low-cost materials, quick prints, or very little finishing. So if you take that one, for example, I don't actually know how much this was, but pretend this was $10, maybe a low-cost material that you know that you can then mark up with this customization. Quick prints, this was
10 minutes.
10 minutes. That might not be quick. Maybe quick prints to you means 2 minutes because you do things that are just cuts rather than engraves. And then very little finishing, check. So then that helps you price it and figure out where it fits within, you know, all your offerings and how much it's worth.
Absolutely. Another thing we didn't mention as well is Glowforge doesn't have to do one of these at a time. Like if you had, say, 5 of these, you could arrange them next to each other in the bed, as many as you could fit, and you could send that print all in one go. So you can leave Glowforge working while you get on with something else.
And you could also have them engraved with different designs each if you wanted. It doesn't need to be 5 of the same. You could do 5 different customizations in one batch. You just press print and go.
Broomskin gifts with people's names on, things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I did engraved aluminum pop sockets, like the little phone holder ones for my bridal party. Yeah, those were really cool. Anyway, did them all at once. All right. Number 3, this is a tip for brick and mortar. We might have mentioned this earlier, but we think it's such a cool idea to let folks customize items in your shop or, you know, when they're actually at a fair or something. So imagine that you bring a bunch of your handmade goods and then you have the option for, you know, a $20 customization, and you'll do it right there in front of them. That's also so experiential to folks.
Yeah. Oh, so fun. I
know that even big box retailers are really looking for ways to get folks into stores rather than just buying everything online. And so if, you know, brick and mortar is part of your business, definitely consider that. Folks are fascinated by this, and they love seeing their design come to life. So that could be rad.
Bailey and I were lucky enough to be part of the original crowdfunding campaign for this, where we got to take this around the country and demonstrate it to people in real life. We had them do a little design on a postcard, put it in the machine, trace that, combine it with a material. And that whole thing was transformational for those people. The conversations we have, the look of joy in people's eyes, the tears on occasion.
Seriously?
It sounds dramatic, but it's really, honestly, it was so cool. It really was.
Especially kids. Anything with kids. Kids are just, I mean, probably
right?
it's just adults are trying to look too cool.
Yeah.
Like, lasers, see this every day. No, it's amazing. Number 2 tip is that most business owners choose the Glowforge Pro. So we've mentioned a few things a little bit earlier, but there's 3 types of Glowforges. There's the Basic, the Plus, and the Pro. The Basic is our slowest model, if you will. So if you've got a print that takes 3 minutes on the Basic, it'll take 2 minutes on a Plus or 1 minute on a Pro. It's they get faster as you upgrade. As you upgrade, also, you get some advanced cooling, and as you upgrade all the way to the Pro, our most popular model, you'll get this pass-through slot. So this sign that we showed you earlier, the reason we were able to make this sign, which as you can see, is larger than the Glowforge, would not fit, is because it can pass through the front and out the back, or vice versa, with this little slot that we have in it. So this really unlocks another scale of projects for you.
Yeah, I mean, here's another example. Some of you may have seen this before. If you're a high-end children's store, imagine having this, either of your decor or for something that you could sell.
Signs, huge adorable. Signs, the big letters. And of course, if you decide to go with the Glowforge Plus or Pro, because that's what your budget dictates right now, or you just don't think you need it, most of the things that we've showed here today, everything really except for those two things, can be accomplished with the Glowforge Plus or Pro. It might just depend. Again, you need to think about the margins on the print time, the materials, what you're going to do to really decide which one is going to be right for you and your business. But most business owners do choose the Pro because of the pass-through, and also because of the speed, and also there's some cooling upgrades which allow the Pro to keep printing continuously, even given high temperatures, like I guess Nick was doing a pass through yesterday, which is real hot in Seattle right now.
And I was outside too. I took the machine outside, printed all day. I was making a giant lamp for a photo shoot that we have coming up, which will be in the past now that when you're watching this. But it was great. I could literally print continuously while I was doing my other work, all at the same time. And I mean, when it comes to business, people say time is money, right? If you can save time by not having to wait for things to cool down or to process, or for slower prints, then that's just more dollars in your bank.
So if Nick had been using a basic or a plus yesterday, well, he couldn't have been doing the pass-through, first of all. But secondly, in that heat, sometimes those units do need to pause and cool down for minutes at a time, and so that can slow down your workflow. And
it's all automated, by the way. Don't worry about that. If it does get too hot, it pauses. The button glows yellow just to tell you. The fans.
I mean, it's a great feature.
Oh,
can you imagine if we didn't have that and you just had to no, you shouldn't be printing?
Right?
Nobody
just
listens to rules.
Yeah.
It's like my iPhone. I got water in my iPhone this morning, and it was like, you can't plug this in until it dries. It's basically that same thing. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. So if you have questions about the differences between Basic, Plus, and Pro, glowforge.com/our-products has a nice little table that lays out the different speed differences and all that. Get a little clearer view than just our ramblings. But
and if you scroll down on that page too, and probably in a couple of places on the site, you can actually schedule a call with the Glowforge expert as well.
Yeah.
So if you have some more specific questions, or just prefer to talk over the phone rather than via chat, log into that option. I think you leave your name and your email address. We'll give you a call back, and we can answer any other questions you have.
Yeah, because we do understand that what you're going to do with your Glowforge is very specific and personal to you, and sometimes you're like, right, I get it, but what about this thing? So we hope to be able to answer that for you with one of those calls. The last and number one thing is that Glowforge is like having a factory in your home, in that it is compact. I mean, this is a Glowforge Pro, and this is how big each of them are. So I mean, the size of maybe an office table or something like that. You can keep it in your home, and it's easy to clean and maintain at home too. There's not a big learning curve. There's not any arduous maintenance you need to do on it. Really, it's as simple as keeping the lenses clean.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, when time is money, you don't want to have downtime having to repair the machine or clean the machine. Literally on the inside of the printer head here and on the sides, there's 3 yellow windows that you just wipe.
Kind of like a camera lens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just wipe with literally a camera lens wipe, I suppose.
That's what they are, I think.
Just to take away the dust, and that's it. That's all you have to do in terms of maintenance.
So that's why they're great for home businesses, and why so many, I think a lot of times when I tell folks that I work at a company that makes lasers, they're like, for home? And I'm like, oh yeah, thousands of people have these at home. I have one 2 feet from me in my office, and it's great. They're wonderful to use at home. And so if you're looking for that side hustle that you can kind of do, in your basement at night, and then maybe someday it'll become a full-time thing, like we have seen that story come to life
so many times.
So many times. It's awesome. It's actually the most exciting thing I think about working here. I think
it is so inspiring.
Yeah.
Every time you hear that.
I hope that if that's something that you want to do, that you take the plunge and invest in a Glowforge and invest in your dream. And it's easy to kind of keep doing the same old thing and want to do it. And I get that buying a tool like this it's a big deal. It takes up space in your home. It costs money. But wow, I've seen again and again how people call it, their favorite coworker. And, I just wish I'd done this sooner. What was I thinking? And I was spending so much time producing these goods, or I was outsourcing, and this was the right thing to do for my business. So I hope that helped answer some questions about whether it'd be right for you. But again, leave us comments and questions below. We'll try to do another stream about whatever specific thing you need to know. And like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, so that when we go live again, you see when we're popping up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Bailey hit everything on the head there. We'd love any feedback that you have. Let us know what we missed. Let us know what you loved, didn't love. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're kind of experimenting with the cadence of these. So if you hit the notification bell, you will be, well, notified when we go live again.
Exactly. And if you're watching this in July, we do have that discount code good for till the end of the month, which is July 31st. So that's glowforge.com/top10 July biz, and that's 10, the number 10, top TOP 10 July biz, BIZ. Made that one really difficult. I don't know what I was doing.
We can
there,
put it in chat.
Yes, I'll put it in chat as well. So that's good for up to $500 off your Glowforge Pro or $250 off a Plus. And you can get started on that business this summer. So I hope you do.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Bye.